Hi everyone, it's me again, Charles Norman, President, CEO, Professor Q, Sports Solutions. This part of the website is for the kids 13 and up, the kids that are in high school or going to high school. And this is, it's interesting. I have two kids. One's a freshman and one's a junior in college. So just a few years ago, actually a year ago, I was sort of in the same shoes that a lot of you guys are in right now. And I don't have a lot in this section. If you look down, I may have one or two things there. I guess it will depend on when you look. But I'm going to add a lot more. I want to be really careful in this section because there's such a broad spectrum of situations here. You've got the parents that have a superstar, someone that absolutely is already getting letters and some interest from colleges. And, they're real key, and I was in the same boat that you're in right now, is you just don't want to screw up. You just don't want to mess your kid up. One of the interesting things about having a high-level player, a player that could play at the next level, especially if it's a D1 type player, but even NAIA, D2, D3, that's still a big accomplishment for a child to be able to play at the next level. Most careers stop at high school, obviously. But the interesting thing is there's different types of players even within that superstar range. There's the player that really worked hard, busted their butt, really practiced a lot. The parents worked with them a lot. They went through a lot of highs and lows, and now they've gotten there and they've kind of grown into their body, or they've found their way, they found their niche, and they have an opportunity to move on to the next section. And then there's the kid that has been a natural since the first time they picked up a bat or dribbled a ball or kicked the soccer ball or whatever the sport may be. And the funny thing is with those parents, you really didn't do anything special. The kid just was good. But you did try to nurture them and get them through the process and to get them where they are now. But the game sort of comes easy to them. So, you sort of worry there too. And then there's another level of the kid that has really worked hard and is on the team, but they're not getting a lot of playing time. And I'm talking about the kids that have made varsity, gotten to the varsity level, but they're not getting a lot of playing time. And you're trying to figure out, okay, my kid's going to practice, they're working really hard, but it doesn't seem to be any reward. What should I do? Do I go talk to the coach or the AD? Or, and you're sort of fuming inside, but your kid doesn't really want to stop playing, but they would like to get more playing time, so you're just looking for help. So, that has to be included here too. And then you got the kids that are just entering high school. They may make the freshman team or the junior varsity team, and they're going to need a little bit more help so they can get to varsity over the course of time. Now, a lot of kids that fall into this category run into trouble because unless you followed us earlier or you came into this, you saw this website when your kid was younger, one of the biggest problems and the biggest disappointments that a lot of kids find out, even if they have really good youth sports careers, when they get to the high school level, they find out the fact that they were playing out of position all those years. So they're either too small or too slow or too something. They've got the two syndrome where they don't fit at the high school level. Now everyone playing that position has either got an advantage on you and you didn't even see it coming. And this is why I always tell you guys, if you've listened to anything else that I said or read some of the stuff that I've written, it's really important to get a private trainer, because a private trainer is not going to look at your kid. A coach for any youth team wants to win. That's what they want to do more than anything else. It's not that they're against your kid, but they don't have your kid's best interest at heart. So let's take basketball, for instance, and you've got a kid that's 5'11", but he's a real hustler. He works really hard, and he can rebound pretty good for his size. They will stick them down low and have them rebound. And when that kid gets to high school, that kid's a point guard. But they've never worked on those skills. So if you've been using that coach for the trainer for your kid, they've been working on their rebound and low post moves when you should have had them working with a private trainer who had been saying, hey, you're not going to be big enough to get away with that at the high school level, let alone thinking about the collegiate level. So those are some of the things that I'm really concerned about, and I talk about more in the lower levels, but now you're here and you're trying to figure out, what do I do next? Well, I'm going to add some articles down below, and I'm going to try to give you guys some advice on what you can do to get your kid playing time on that varsity level if they're not the superstar and they're not necessarily going to the next level, but they do want to participate even at the high school level. I guess even at the high school level, because the rules have changed, it's not up to the coach to play your kid. They don't have to. I don't see why they wouldn't. I can understand college coaches because that's their job on the line, but most high school coaches are teachers or they're part-time coaches. But this again, I'm always fascinated by the adult ego when it comes to these things. If you have the better players, you're going to win most of the time. Sure, there's a bunch of coaches that take lesser players and make a cohesive team, and they win a lot too, playing in a certain system. But there's a bunch of kids that don't fit in that system that are good players that get shut out because they don't fit in that system. So I don't see how that makes that coach that great a coach either. And I'm not against coaches. That's a hard job. And I'm glad there's some people that volunteer and actually take their time out to do it. It's a lot of time spent away from the family. It's a lot of time worrying about other kids and maybe not your own. But still, I'm always amazed by the adult ego that's put into these things and some of the thinking. It's about the kids, guys. That is the most important piece of the puzzle. So let me get off my soapbox for a minute and get back to what we're talking about here. So we have those three things. If your kid's not playing, you're going to have to find out something to do. I do have an article down below that talks a little bit about get them in the game. I have a get them in the game strategy, what you should do. This is something that if I were you, I would take to a private trainer. Remember, on this site, it's getting real game time, finding a trainer to work out with that will help you and your kid improve their game, and then getting the right products to help them work out on their own. So look at our Get 'em in the Game strategy down below. Take that, find a trainer on our site. It's free for you to do a search. You can find a really good quality trainer in your area using our little search or trainer locator. And then the next part I have on there is getting recruited anyway. So let's say you have a kid and the high school just doesn't fit them. They're really athletic, but the team happens to play a very different type of really controlled basketball, no fast breaks, so your kid doesn't really stand out a lot, or they can't score as many points as they would normally score. Your kid's a great shooter, but there's a tall kid and they want to dump the ball down every time. Or your kid's tall, but the kid, the star of the team, is the guard that shoots three, whatever it is. Or the baseball player, they do hit and run, and your kid likes to hit home runs, but the coach doesn't want them swinging for the fences. Whatever's going on. It doesn't matter. There's still a strategy that you can use to get around all of that. So those are some of the things that we're going to talk about here. One of the things I really want to emphasize here is that you don't get to the habit, and I probably should emphasize this more even at the lower level. You can't change the system to fit your kid. There's a ton of kids that are playing sports. The system is there. What you need to do is find a way to get your kid over the system or through the system with as much of your sanity intact as possible. And that's kind of why we're here. That's what we're all about. I've already gone through this. I've had, both sides of it. I've seen it all. And I know what works and I know what doesn't work. And I don't consider myself necessarily an expert on every kid and every situation. But what I do is I talk to other people. I talk to coaches. I talk to trainers. I talk to parents. I've talked to college coaches. And what they're looking for is not necessarily what you think. So go ahead and read through some of the articles that we have here. I think you'll be surprised. You'll get a lot of insight on what's going on. And again, our number one goal is it's all about the kids, getting them in the game, giving them an opportunity to play, and to make sure they have a successful career. Again, the rules do change at high school. One of the interesting things that I run into, a lot of times I do interviews or I'm on a panel somewhere, and you'll get someone that comes up and talks about how 75% of the kids that started younger quit at age 13, have quit by age 13. Well, obviously, the kids go to high school at age 13. I think there may be something to that. There's only so many people that can make the team at the high school level. Even if they have a freshman, sophomore, junior varsity, and varsity, there's still a lot of kids. There could be thousands of kids at a school, and very few of them are going to be able to make the team. So I always think that that's sort of a misnomer, but you hear it all the time. That's why I don't go a lot into the statistics, because it doesn't tell the full story. Don't worry about the situation. Let's just figure out how to get around the situation and get your kid where you want them to be. All right? Well, that's it for this lead-in video for this section. Go down, look at the stuff that we have available for you. Again, this is probably one of the areas that's really crucial, that if I get some feedback from you guys on what you need and what you really believe would make a difference for a lot of people, so that we can get it on this site and make it available for everyone. Again, best of luck to you, best of luck to your child, and remember, let's get them in the game. Talk to you later. Bye.